so today I thought it would be fun to kind of switch it up a little bit and cover something more lighthearted, just something funny, you know what I mean? So I thought it would be kind of cool to talk about one of my most embarrassing moments of my life, because I was actually telling my husband this story. We always talk about like our biggest embarrassing moments, and he's like, you should talk about that in a video. And honestly, it's so embarrassing but really hysterical. And so I decided, why not just make a whole video about it and just kind of make it like just something entertaining to hear. So I guess you would say that I had a lot of embarrassing moments. A lot of them have to do with my period, so maybe we'll talk about it if we have time. But I think one of the most embarrassing moments of my life, a lot of these moments happened in junior high when I was going through puberty. Now, I don't know from where I picked up piojos, aka lice. Yeah, head lice. I picked them up several times in my childhood. I really don't know from where, but I picked up piojos when I was like 12 years old. And me and my friend actually both had piojos like crawling in our head during school. It just feels so gross having these little critters just crawling all over your head. And it doesn't mean that you're dirty or sucia. Let's just clear that up, because a lot of people like to throw shade and be like, ew, you're so dirty. Eres bien piojosa. Like, whoever even throws that kind of energy around and doesn't have compassion for someone picking up an insect that just, loves, nestling into your hair. Like, I know my people, sweet soul, you guys are not like that, but sometimes these videos, can get out there, and I am putting it out there, so I really don't care if people call me sucia, call me whatever, I don't care. That's why I'm putting the story out there, because I thought it was just hilarious. So anyways, so I got the piojos, and now I don't know why I actually went to school with piojos for a while until my mom shampooed it out. But I remember like going to school with them and just being so self-conscious that I had piojos. Okay, so in my head, my logic, in the morning when I was getting ready to go to school, I would take a lot of Aquanet hairspray and just spray my hair. Like, I would do this bun or like this ponytail, like this low ponytail, and I would just spray my hair with hairspray, because in my mind, the more that I sprayed, the harder my hair would be, and that would create like a helmet and like this barrier so the piojo wouldn't creep out. Because I sat in the front of one of my classes, one of my periods in 7th grade. So I had a lot of like students behind me, and I was like so self-conscious the whole time, thinking like one of the piojos was gonna like peek out and start crawling. I know, I'm like getting so grossed out about I don't know, I'm getting like the goosebumps about it. So in my mind, I was like, okay, the more hairspray that I put on, then I'm gonna create like this thick, hard wall that the piojo's not gonna come through. Now that I look back, and I never really thought that those things were traumatic for a child, a young girl who's going through puberty, barely starting puberty, to experience. But I did, like that was so traumatic. Like going to school with little critters crawling in your head, it's gross. And then also when you're 12 years old, all of the other, a lot of 12-year-old girls can be pretty mean. They, obviously, not everybody is like this, but, junior high kids can be really cruel and really mean, and they would be the ones to point it out and just really make a whole scene. Thankfully, nobody ever saw this, but one of my good friends at that time actually also had piojos. And she was getting, like she was changing her clothing during PE, and I saw one of them just kind of come out and start crawling, and I was like, so-and-so, I was like, oh yeah, one of them is coming through. She's like, oh my God, I know, right? And so because I saw her come out of her head, I thought, like, I don't want, when I caught lice, for that to happen in school. Now, why I went to school with lice, I have no idea why I was even in school, because if my kid had lice, if I had a daughter who had lice or a son who had lice, I would not send them to school until I got rid of them, you know? Then also in 7th grade, I got my period when I was 12 years old, and no one really gave me a class, you know, this is how you put on a tampon, this is how you wear a pad. So I went through some major uncomfortable situations. Damn, like really junior high was so traumatic for me. I did not enjoy junior high at all, like at all. You're just changing and developing so much and so rapidly, and you have no idea what's happening with your body. You don't really understand your period. I didn't know that you had to change your pad as often as you felt like you needed to. I thought you put on a pad and you wear it all day. For me, when I was 12, that was when my period was like the heaviest. As soon as it started, it was just so heavy. And so it was like just flooding out. Like it was just uncontrollable is how I felt. And so since I didn't really have a lot of knowledge about that, I put on one pad in the morning, and then I would literally be bleeding in the chairs, like in school. And the crazy thing is that you have to change classes. So, oh my God, it's so embarrassing when major accidents like that happen because you don't change the pad. And then I also was extremely self-conscious. I didn't want any attention around me at that age. I didn't want no one looking at me. I was very serious. You know how like there's teenagers who are just like so serious, they don't want to laugh at anything. You know, they think that, I don't know, they don't take things so like when they were kids. You know how you go through that phase where maybe like I'm too cool, I don't want to laugh. Like, well, that was me. I did not smile at all. I was just like this serious person, and I don't know why I was like that, but I just became very in my shell and very serious and very like embarrassed, easily embarrassed over so many things that I would get like a hot tomato and I would start like, oh my God, like I'm so hot, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt so uncomfortable in my body. I didn't like being in my body. I just didn't like it. And so adding the layer of just being embarrassed to ask your teacher to go to the restroom, like that was such a big thing for me that I didn't have the confidence within myself at that age to ask my teacher if I could go to the bathroom. So I would wear the same pad that I put in the morning with the heaviest flows of your life all day in school. My pants were literally soaking in blood, ladies. Like they were soaking in blood every time I would sit somewhere. Like I would get the chair all dirty and then walking around with soaked pants. The good thing is that I knew to wear black pants, and so you couldn't really tell, but yeah, it was a whole situation. And now I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad for that version of me. I had to go through all those things. But I did, and it didn't just happen once. It happened so like every time that I got my period, like once a month, this happened. Now, don't ask me why I didn't tell my mom. Don't ask me why I just didn't tell anybody. I don't know why I didn't tell anybody. Even as actually I was talking to one of my friends who experienced the same traumatic event from 2nd grade with that teacher that I told you that locked me in the classroom. So she told me that it was not an isolated event. She also told me that she never told her parents what was happening. So I feel like a lot of these things that happen to you, you don't really know that they're not normal. You think, oh, this is how a teacher treats you, or like, oh, this is just a part of your life. This is just how things are happening to you. That's just what it is. And that's how I felt. So I never really went to my mom and told her like, Mom, like I feel so traumatized that like I am literally bleeding everywhere and the school is so embarrassing and I don't know how to wear a pad. I don't know how to wear a tampon. What do I do? Like I didn't have that conversation. I didn't initiate it with my mom also. So I just kind of like rolled with life. That's how I've been doing. Like that's definitely the theme of my life, and my karma has been just kind of like me dealing with everything and learning on my own. But I take a lot of pride in that also, because I just feel now as a 34-year-old woman, like all of those things that I've been through even since I was a little girl. Like they definitely gave me a lot of grit and just this kind of like lion, fearless, hardcore warrior kind of like character trait. You know, like I really feel like I have that within me. I do feel like a fighter. I feel that within me, and I think it's because of all of those things. They really just toughened me up emotionally, more so than anything emotionally. Even though I do work out, I lift heavy weights, so I am physically strong also, even though I'm only 4 feet 9 inches, like that doesn't matter to me. But that's how I feel, ladies. And yes, this happened maybe twice also in high school, and in high school it's just the worst. You know, because that's when like you like boys and you just want to be cute. So yeah, I would love to know if you guys feel comfortable to share with me one of your most embarrassing moments. If you feel comfortable, can you top my, not just playing, it's not a competition, but have you had something just so embarrassing that happened to you? Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was so different, but you know, I love talking to you guys. Like, you guys are my girlfriends, so this is literally the conversation that I would have with my girlfriend if we were discussing like our embarrassing stories. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Please make sure to subscribe. That's a really great way for you to show your support to me. I know someone asked me and left me a comment, and one of you beautiful ladies said, Dulce, is there a way that we can support you? We really appreciate everything you're doing. So for me, best way to support me is just by showing up, subscribing, leaving a comment, and just engaging with the community, because that's how I know that you and I are connecting and that you like what I'm putting out. So let me know either way, guys, okay? Anyways, have a blessed and beautiful day, my beautiful ladies, and I can't wait to see you on my next video, which will be all about my biggest regret.